Hello, hello, hello to my beautiful souls. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Angelic Healing Express. This is a safe place offering a warm welcome to my family. God is inviting you to trust His divine plan. God and the angels are grateful for the care that you're giving yourself at this time. Negativity that attempts to invade this sacred space, I banish you away with the light of my grace. You have no hold or power, for I stand and face you with no fear. Any people, place, thing, or energy that refuses to flee as I demand to be free will be under my dominion. Be gone. This is a sacred place, and you must obey. I do not need permission to be who I was called to be. I was born to be powerful, and I accept it. I aim to remain open-minded and expand my soul to know God and my angelic teams on a heart level. I am called for a higher purpose to explore life, master my lessons, and to heal out loud along with my fellow travelers. A sincere welcome to the newcomers and the fellow travelers, extending love, light, and hope, and a plethora of new incoming memories, balance, and truth. You are appreciated, cherished, and loved. Thank you for your support and kindness. God made us family. We need one another. We love one another. We forgive one another. Together we learn God's word. Together we grow in truth. Together we love all people. Together we serve our God. These are our hopes. Please help us obtain them. Amen. The route to manifesting your highest potential is birthed as we heal ourselves. I would like to begin today's reading because I have a lot to cover. I already know I will just be covering a portion of it. That is how much downloads are coming in. And I am thankful that with the help of my spiritual support teams, I will be able to relate to you the messages that are of most significant to you at this time. I want to start off with today's title, The Voice of Your Soul. That's today's title. The Voice of Your Soul. And the reason why we're being guided to this title is because it's going to be at a deeper level. We communicate all the time. But there are deeper forms of communication. And today you will witness it. And I pray that as this service heals me, that this offering will heal you. Because I know that God is here. The first inclination I had to do today's episode, I received 2 days ago, where I had a vision of something that I already saw on my feed, my social media feed. But when I saw it, I didn't read into it because I didn't know this individual on a personal level. I just know of him as a celebrity. So I saw it, I noted it, and to be honest, I made the observation that I felt he was very ashamed of himself. But I left it at that, and I continued with other things I had to take care of. But as I said 2 days ago, I was resting, I should say. And I had a vision. And I saw him as he shared what many believe was an apology to all those that he sexually exploited in the industry. Although I did note that at the end of his statement, he said, "This is not an apology." Many people overlook that part, but that was not an accident. He said it because he said what he said. And the reason why that statement was brought to my attention was clarified to me when I went into meditation. I'm like, why am I having a vision of that? What am I not seeing or hearing? And the information I received was, he is an example of a distorted masculine. And the reason why he is experiencing a season of reckoning is because of his ranking and his following. You see, when you arrive at a certain plateau on your journeys that we all call life, there are certain levels of expectations that are put on you due to the favors, quote unquote, that you have access to. And so many times when a lesson needs to be taught to a population, the leaders, or those that are seen, in power, are usually targeted for being made examples of. This is what happens when you do A, B, or C. This gets done quickly and successfully because the followers are there and the lesson is publicized. I was also told this is also tying into what is being awakened to the collective consciousness, which is the universe is offering intel this intel that we're receiving is shedding light on the fact that we are all connected. So when we refuse to learn a lesson, not only do we repeat the cycle, but the bigger picture is still put in your face, regardless on your efforts to change or on your denial. This is why karma is merited. Because even if you chose denial, you see it in your environment. It cannot be hidden. So even in your wrongdoing, if you say that, no, I was right. Well, I did that because of this. And I don't feel that is wrong. And only I can be my judge. Right? We hear such commentary very often in society. However, we are witnessing someone with a great deal of power. This distorted masculine really felt like he was on top of the world. There are videos showing him in a different light, as if he's experiencing some type of mania. When he's saying, I could do anything. There's nothing I can't do. And like pushing things off the desk and like behaving in a manner that most people would consider disturbed. Because he was so confident in himself, like, there is nothing I can do. I control. I take what I want. That's the energy that he was in, that distorted masculine. And so this is what is happening collectively to all of the distorted masculines that fall in that category. They were in the mindset that, you know, I could do anything. I can take anything. I can guide you in whatever manner that I choose to when it comes to your life. I am your master. This is the mindset they were in. Very controlling, abusive, non-apologetic, and demonic. All right? Demonic. And the reason why they were in that mindset that I am a man of power is because they covered themselves. Thank you, God, for giving me that vision right now. They covered themselves with religion. This person in particular that's on the news, that everybody is coming out and saying he abused me this way and he abused me that way and he did that to me too and he paid me off, but still I have videos, I have pictures. Thank you for those that are supporting me. Even though I went through this, I'll be traumatic for the rest of my life. However, I am going to use this experience to share it with others so that other women that are experiencing domestic violence could open their eyes to the situation and get out. I had to pause because I just had a flashback of what I witnessed him do in that video of how he beat on that woman. And whether you believe it or not, whether you use words or punches, trauma is trauma. And as that victim stated, that I will correct myself in saying, as that survivor stated, she moved on with her life. But she will forever be healing those parts of her. Help me, Jesus. Thank you for your strength, Jesus. Thank you for your love, Jesus. Thank you for your healing, Jesus. Thank you for your understanding, Jesus. I stand with you, Jesus. We rise again, we rise again, we rise again. She will be continuing to spend her journey healing herself. Even though she's entered new chapters in her life, there will be times she gets triggered. Now, before I lose my train of thought, I want to finish that statement concerning the vision that I just received from God, which is, I saw that same individual that is being made an example of with a tattoo he has on his back. That tattoo is cultural. She has different names. Some call her the Virgin Mary. A black Virgin Mary. Others call her Erzuli Dantor. This celebrity, quote unquote, has her picture tattooed all over. I didn't say a spot like on the shoulder or on the middle of his spine or on the top of his spine or somewhere out there. I said his entire back. If I pause, please understand, I have to compose myself. I have reasons. Because he has her picture tattooed on his back, he's under the impression that he's covered to do all the wrong that he was doing. I feel so many people who consider themselves elite because they belong to secret societies are being misled. As I've said several times before, know who you are connecting with. Whether it is physical or spiritual. People with evil mindsets or lower vibrational energies are uber focused on what malintentions that they want to manifest, rather than the entire picture. If you knew the entire picture, the thought of him tattooing her on his back would have been absurd. Reason being, those who study while minding their business know that she represents the widow, single mothers, and children. Now, I just received a message because as soon as I said widows, single mothers, and children, I just received the sign, so I believe I'm supposed to share something with you. Your dedication to growth is opening the doors to magic. Remember that the power comes with responsibility. Do you hear me? Let me repeat that, because I want you to understand how this ties in with what I was just saying. Your dedication to growth is opening the doors to magic. Remember that the power comes with responsibility. These immoral debaucheries that were ongoing did not come with responsibility. And I just said she stands for widows, single mothers, children. That does not mean that she does not assist others. That means that as you energy harvest, which is what you're doing, when you call her for assistance, it best be aligned with what she stands for. Whether you are in the energy of dark or in the energy of light, it better be in alignment with justice. See, this is where those without brain cells messed up. This is where thieves mess up. When you're stealing from someone that was a single mom. When you're stealing from the singles mom's finances, which are there to take care of herself and her children. When you're stealing from a single mom who was abandoned because her then husband went astray and died spiritually. Make it make sense. Your educational level regarding spirituality has nothing to do with the clothes you wear, with the hats you wear, with the jewelry you wear, with the money you have, with the places you live, in vanity. I said in vanity. Let me repeat that because it just went over your heads. In vanity. Those that do spiritual work that is high vibrational are provided for, are taken care of, are receiving the best as they deserve the best, because they are in alignment with the higher vibration of God. And the reason why many people are being thrown out of their positions and experiencing towers again is in relation to irresponsibility. You got caught red-handed. You got caught up by your own craft. What you intended for others, including your blackmail, you are experiencing. Because others know. And you have to pay them to keep their mouth shut. So your intent of invading people's homes with spies and taking pictures and, I'm so disgusted right now. I'm really disgusted. It's like, as I'm sharing this with you, I gotta pause every minute because I'm like, God, like, ugh. This makes my skin crawl. Certain levels of lower vibration I've never experienced or participated in firsthand. So yes, I do feel it's gross. I always will. And this is one of the reasons why I have to separate myself from it, because the environment affects me. So if I am surrounded by those in that energy, whether you share it with me or not, you're embodying it. Because you stand for it. And you behave according to it. And so, it's oil and water. We just can't mix. It's just forbidden. I've remembered sharing some years ago that when the moment of reckoning comes, everyone will be telling on each other. Well, she did this. No, he did this. Well, they did this. She told me to do it. I told her no, but she did it anyway. She didn't tell me she did that. She went too far. She did. Guess what? What is happening collectively right now? The bodyguards are saying, well, I witnessed him do this, and I saw him do this, and I didn't approve of this, and he was in this relationship, and he made her do this and that. Bodyguards. Ex-girlfriends. He did this, and he did that, and he blackmailed me this way. Mistresses. everyone that was in connection. And benefiting. Can we put the truth all on the table? And benefiting from the association due to his money, due to his power, due to his connections, due to his, the perks, whatever they may be, is exposing him. There are even reports of one child in particular, and I know it's not just him, his children, not all, but some of his children are also outing him. Well, he made me do this. He said I had to do this. His own children. Pay attention to the signs. There are reports that he sacrificed many others and led them to their death. Who is being sacrificed? With the intent, the attention of the entire world. Who is being sacrificed internationally? After all his sacrifices that he did as a hobby. Pay attention to the signs. It starts from the top and it trickles down. As I've mentioned times before, when God called me on this mission, because I was called many times before on other missions, and that's why there are points of completion. I've already completed part of this mission. But when God called me, he said I would be in a pioneering position, where people who were just hiding under the umbrellas of religion will be awakened to the fact that, it's not just the umbrella of religion. It's not just investing in the building that we call church. It's also investing in self. Mind, body, soul, but we cannot deny spirit. Why? Why can't you deny spirit? Because we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. Let me repeat. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we can't go around sexually abusing people, stealing from people, killing from people, lying on people, defaming people, and with the umbrella of I am this religion, I am that religion, I am this religion, and feel like we're aligned to God and the favor that comes from God. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And this is why all the liars and all the teachers and all those that were in that energy, we are witnessing them collectively get sent back home. I don't care what cave you was in hell. I don't care what valley you was in hell. I don't care what jungle you come from in hell. You going back to hell. And I know you're going back to hell because I was given revelation that there were 3 individuals that went too far. And without being too gruesome, 3 of their heads were decapitated. Three heads. And I saw myself on top of a volcano. I looked inside and I saw the hot burning fire. The heat, the steam. I feel it right now. Guess where the heads went? Guess. I'll leave that for you to guess. The same way you guessed when people's characters were being defamed and you guessed it was true. It happens from the top and it trickles down. And this is one of the reasons why I don't play with the word leadership. Although you may have forgotten, I've shared this before. I was a Sunday school teacher. More than a decade. Maybe 2 decades. And I took a vacation and I went back home up north. And I remember going to a church on Easter. And I remember being in the church and the pastor made the statement that he hopes that when Jesus comes home that it's going to be on the Easter Sunday because it's going to be the most comedy that he's ever seen in his life. And everyone was looking at him like, what are you talking about? Why would that be comedic? And he said the reason why this would be funny is because a lot of people just go to church on Sundays and not on Sundays, on Easter Sundays and on Christmas Sundays and sometimes New Year's. So a lot of you people that are dressed up with the nice hats and the nice heels and the nice purses and so forth will be remaining in your seat. Talking about, why am I not flying up? Why am I not going with you? You know. And he would just be there laughing. Because it takes more than that. And I'm here to tell you, it takes more than going to church. I'm going to say it again because some of y'all don't get it yet. It takes more than going to church. You can't do whatever you do and say, God, I did this and I want to be forgiven, and expect for it not to come with consequences. You're just lying to yourself. Yes, you are. And some of you knew that already. This is one of the reasons when he made his statement, he did not say it was an apology. He said, I am not asking. No, he said, this is not an apology. Or I am not asking for forgiveness. Something in that area. But the point is, and this was towards the end of his statement, the point is that we can learn from each other. As I've shared with you several times before, wise people don't have to go through it to learn it. They learn from other people's mistakes. A lot of things that I witnessed while growing up in other people's relationships, I said at that young age, not even a teenager yet, that will never be me. I've avoided so many opportunities for the devil to take me down. The reason why I even knew I had a spiritual husband is because of the patterns I had in my life. The last incident when I encountered that demonic spirit was before my divorce, where someone who was entangled with another individual or committed to another individual came to me and offered me marriage due to the plotting that was done behind my back. The only reason I'm marrying her is because of what I can get from her. I wasn't aware that they read cards on me or that they looked into my fortune and all of that, because I've never done it for myself. As I said, I grew up in the church. We don't do that. But I'm learning that some of y'all do that. Right? So that was me yesterday. And today my eyes have awakened to the fact that the reasons why they don't want you to do that and look into what is hidden, just like denying the apple, is because they don't want you aware of the exploitation that's going on. They don't want you aware of the deceit that's going on. They don't want you to be aware of the theft that's going on. So that's where I was in that state, in that stage of my journey. So that was the state of mind I was in that stage of my journey, where basically I was being played and I didn't know. But the truth of the story is that is not the first time that happened to me. And the reason why they were not aware of it, those people that were attacking me, okay, the witches, the warlocks, the demons, the, succubus, the incubus, the reason why they were not aware that this was the first time, that was not the first time this happened to me, is because they never took the time to know me. Their time was invested in labeling me. And so there was a lot about me they did not know. The first time that happened was in my 20s. I met somebody. He was cool. One of the reasons why my connections go deep is because of the fact that it's never just in relation to the physical aspect. I am, and I could say that confidently, I am a good friend. I can pick you up no matter what happens. Oh, you had a bad day, you got fired, I'm the one you could talk to, and it's okay. You know what? When one door closes, it's because another door is going to open. I'm the one that will make you laugh when you think you can't laugh anymore, like you lost your laughter forever. I will make you laugh at my own expense. This is me without any effort. That's just me. Okay? I'm transparent. The same way we know our weaknesses, we have to know our strengths. I'm the one that will tell you, you know what? I've experienced a season like this before. This is where I was at. And look at me now. And this is I'm not just like this only when I speak to you guys. I'm like this in my personal relationships as well. Right? So I've always been, as I said, this happened to me since my 20s. I met someone, he was cool. Like when I say he was cool, it's because we vibed. Like the conversations we had was a lot of fun. Like I've always, if I were to describe myself, one of the things I could say about myself, it makes me laugh, but one of the things I could say about myself is I've always been sassy. Always. Sassy. S-A-S-S-Y. And for some reason, some people like that. I'll just say it like that. Those from the UK would consider me cheeky, right? That's just part of my personality. And I know this because of a friend I have. That's his nickname for me. But the point is, I've always been a good friend. And whether you believe it or not, a lot of people feel as if that what attracts people is only what they can see. But the truth is, people like what they see, but they like what they feel as well. See, this is what some of us overlook. They like what they can feel. And I'm not just speaking about the physical sense. I'm also speaking about, like, I feel happy when I'm around you. I feel young. I feel hopeful, So, even if I no longer entertain a connection, people don't forget me. And this is not to blow my horn or anything. I'm just telling you facts. Because I am rare. I know I'm different. I've always felt different. And the truth is, I've always liked that. I've never wanted to be like anyone else. I like the word unique. But this guy, I'm just taking a pause because I still can't believe. This happened so many years ago, but I still cannot believe the shock that I experienced. So, this was in the days of Yahoo. Yahoo chat. So this is not someone I've ever met in person. This is somebody that we've chatted, right? But back in that day, you could video chat. And that's what we did every day for hours. And there was a woman that would be in the background every once in a while. And he said, that's my sister. And he's like, I want to introduce you to her. And she came and she's like, hi, my name is so-and-so. Yeah, I'm glad you and my bro are hanging out and stuff. He's a homebody. He doesn't do much and stuff. So I'm glad that you guys are, taking, I don't remember the exact words, but like, basically she approved. She was happy about the connection. Introduced me to his kids and everything via video. I think they were both under the age of 7. Anyways, the point is, one day I can't even say this without laughing, but I got online and I thought he sent me a message. And it was his quote-unquote sister. And she said, hi. And I was kind of surprised because I'm like, I can't remember the guy's name because it's been years ago. I thought it was going to be him. I'm sorry, I'm laughing again. Now, I don't have to tell you all of that. But okay, I'll tell you. One of the reasons why I enjoyed our conversations is because I liked his accent. I haven't been living up north in a long time. And the fact that he had that accent, it reminded me of being home. So that impressed me. But in transparency, I love accents. I could say that. I do love accents. And that did get me in trouble too. Because when I was growing up, I grew up in Brooklyn, but the part of Brooklyn, because there are different areas that if you explore, there are different areas where you'll see that certain populations congregate, where basically everyone's Italian. But the part of Brooklyn that I grew up in, it was basically a lot of West Indians. So I grew up with Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and Guyanese, and Puerto Ricans. All right? I didn't have much connections with like Cubans and all that until I moved down south. In New York, Puerto Ricans. And they usually had a stereotype regarding their looks, what they look like, right? So being from different places, you observe different things. But I liked his accent. But anyways, the girl that I was talking to on Messenger, she said, I want to tell you something. And I said, yes, but I'm still confused. I'm like, what does she have to tell me? I said, is he talking to somebody or something like that? She's like, nah, it's not that. She said, I want to tell you who I am. I said, I know who you are. I said, you're his sister. You're so-and-so. And she said, no, you're partially right. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, oh, my name is so-and-so, so you're correct. But I'm his wife. And I'm looking at her like, what? She said, I know you're surprised. I know, but let me explain. Let me explain. And she said, no, it's because, you know, I'm cool with a polygamous lifestyle. And basically, when he approached me about it, I was like, well, if I like the girl, then okay, but I have to, you know, like the girl or whatever. And basically, through your conversation and the energy you're giving me, I like it. And the reason why I'm talking to you is because I told him that I wanted to speak to you about it and tell you what we wanted from you. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I'm like, I know she's not going to go there with me. You know, what are you talking about? She said, we basically want you to move in. I want you to be his second wife. And you're great with children. You work in the school system. Our kids love you. Blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at her like she must be crazy. And I told her, and I said, no, that's not going to be possible. Actually, I'm very upset to hear what's going on, because I would never accept anything like that. I never gave him any vibe of like that, and I never gave him the impression that I was in that mindset. So I don't know why. I feel like both of you wasted my time and everything. And she's like, well, it's not like you have a choice. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. She said, it's not like you have a choice. Didn't he tell you I was African? Yeah, he's American, but I'm African. And I said, so? She said, well, because I can make you come if I want you to come, regardless if you say no or not. And I didn't like where the conversation was going. I said, I have to go now. And she said, I'll see you soon. And after I got off the phone, I prayed, because she threatened me. I prayed. Mind you, I was like 23 years old, waiting for my husband, if you understand what I mean. Waiting for my husband. I didn't even have certain experiences yet. Okay? So there was nowhere in my mind that was going to even consider that path. I'm actually waiting for my husband, and here you are telling me that you want me to come live with you, whatever. So I prayed about it, and, you know, to be protected from any of her evil and stuff, and she was not able to affect me to the point that she was able to manipulate me and make me go anywhere or whatever. You know, he did text me later and apologized and said, you know, I wasn't trying to disrespect you. Actually, I want to do right by you. That's why we're telling you this. You know, we would take care of you. And I'm like, no, that was never what I signed up for. Blah, blah, blah. Now, the reason why I mentioned spiritual husband is because later on in life, I met another individual, and I was talking to him. Were you married? I always ask, are you married? Do you have children? Where do you work? What do you do? Are you legal in this country? Blah, blah, blah. I ask all the right questions now. All of them. In detail. Are you being honest? Are you sure? Well, if you're not married, are you in a relationship? Are you on the rebound? Like, I ask all the questions, right? But thank God today, it's not just the questions and the answers I have to know the truth, I have been awakened to the fact that I have the truth available to me, regardless if you say a lie or not. I can just go to God and confirmation. I could just go to God and get confirmation that you are in your truth or you are in your trickster energy. But at the time, even though I was in a relationship with God already, I did not know the gifts. Some of us don't even know the gifts, all the gifts that we have today. We know a lot of them, but we don't know all of them, right? I know I have some still uncovered. My spiritual team still brings that to my attention, and every moment they can, they guide me in another direction to explore something else. And I'm like, really? I could do this too? Yeah, you could. And all of these things can help you on your journey. But yeah, I met this other individual, and this is my aunt. She was an older woman. This is my aunt. And if I called this individual and he wasn't home, and his quote-unquote aunt picked up the phone, she'd be like, he's not here right now, but I'll tell him you called. Now, this person was always home. Like, if I was ever on the phone with him, she was always in attendance. She knew everything, right? It was never hidden. Later on, I discovered it was the same arrangement. Basically, she's cool with this polygamous lifestyle. I feel as if you are seeking that type of lifestyle, you need to tell the person straight up from the beginning, because the person has the right to approve or deny. And again, I don't play that. Goodbye. So the last time that spiritual husband tried to attack me was through my marriage, where that person was in a relationship, and whether they, because it was more than one, want to claim him to belong to them or not, I had papers. Okay? We were married. By law. In ceremony. Whether it was in the church or outside, in ceremony. So, the fact that an arrangement was made for him to come my way, to love bomb me, to lie to me, to expose me to all of those, I'll be nice and say, individuals in his harem and their loose lifestyles, and then say that I'm a home wrecker or anything like that, was inappropriate. It was planned. It was the objective for him to marry me so he can inherit through my grace. So that was wrong. Never in my life was I in any relationship in the knowledge of that the person was married. And I said, okay, this is something that I'm cool with. We could do this. And I'm going to accept this for the rest of my life. I'm not made from that cloth. I'm not okay with that cloth. I will never be okay with that cloth. And I can share why. See, when I was a little girl, sometimes my father would be tripping, right? Forgetting he was married, right? And I had a very bad opinion about the women that he cheated with. And I just could not accept the fact that if I entertained that type of a relationship, that I would be that girl. You see, certain things stem from childhood. You don't know where the person's mind's at because you don't know where they're coming from. And you could call me whatever you want to call me, but the truth is, it was rooted in my childhood. I know what my mom experienced. I know what it felt like to have a father that would be missing because he's at so-and-so's house. He's at so-and-so's house. I would never want a child to experience that rejection, that hurt, that neglect. Wondering, why does my parent feel it's okay to leave me behind? That is the voice of my soul. I am not an individual that wants to give the hurt that I received. And this is why God has entered the classroom. And those of you that have attacked me, lied on me for nothing I've done, that is why you're experiencing what you're experiencing in your life. I never did anything to harm any one of you. And anything I've shared is what you've done to me. What you planned for me. What you are planning for me. Planning for me. What you are planning presently. It's not as if you stopped. Let's be real. You still on the mission. And I know when it's going to stop. It was already brought to my attention how and when it's going to stop. Some of you decided to learn with your life, and who am I to tell you to stop? That's your life. To do as you wish. But in the end, your heads will still go down that volcano. Whether it's through mental illness, whether it is through certain things I will not mention, but it's going to go down that volcano in the lake of fire. Not everyone can be toyed with because we're different. You don't have my heart, and I don't have your heart. I don't have to lie on you. I just have to tell the truth. This is what you are from the cards that I see. This is my gift, to share what is being revealed to me. This is what I'm called to do. I'm in my lane. I'm minding my business because I'm doing what I am called to do. I'm not spying on you. I'm not doing home invasions and sending people to date you. I'm not. Child, I pretty much logged off 90% of my social media because I was tired of the foolery. Like, it is so transparent, the efforts that they were making to somehow frame me or convict me of some type of manner. People connecting with me. Can I take you to lunch? Can I do this? Nope. I never told you I was hungry. Nope. I don't need this. Nope. I don't need that. It's like they sent so many people my way to try to bring some type of confusion and whatever. And I'm not the type that you can get easily like that because of the fact that I like what I like. So if I'm satisfied in the area, there ain't nothing you could say or do to make me lose focus on what I'm satisfied with, what I'm content with, what I'm happy with, what's giving me what I want, to look in another direction because I already know what I have. Right? And the funny thing is, even if it's not what I want, if I am committed, if I said I do, then I'm not going to look at you until we are not saying I do, until I have divorce papers. I don't do that 2-time in business because I don't got time for it. My life is very balanced. I have just a certain amount of time for a relationship, just a certain amount of time for my family, just a certain amount of time for me, to work on me, to grow, just a certain amount of time to pray, to connect with God, to grow spiritually. I do not have the time to waste time. You see the difference? There's a talk show host who used to like to say, a woman of a certain age does not have the time. Now, she didn't say does not have the time, but she always says a woman of a certain age, and that's what I'm saying. A woman of a certain age does not have the time for the foolery that the youngins have, because I'm building for my future, and I'm building for my children's future. So who are you again? Why are you important again? Why should I put you in my schedule again? Make it make sense. I can't be competing with someone I've never met before, someone I don't know, someone I don't care for. Like, what? And the funny thing is, I never did that even in my youth. I've never competed for a man. They never had that opportunity. If you cheated, I don't need no explanation. No, but this is what, but I don't care. Okay? Because the thing with me, when I lose the trust, we don't have nothing. We're made different. I know some people, but why did you do it? Well, I don't care about why. You did it. It happened. So why do I need to know why? Knowing why is not going to make you stay in my life. It's not going to make me reconsider, because, honey, I got my life to protect. Because before you, I had a family too. You understand me? And I gotta be there for him to take care of him. So I'm not gonna let any random guy come around talking about, you gotta fight to win my... Yo, I'm trying to be serious here. I'm trying. But do you really think it's that difficult to move on? Because it's never been for me. If I'm not in a relationship, it's because I choose not to be. And it's not because I'm flirting with this one and flirting with that one, but because of the work I do. I'm very respected and popular in some senses of the word, because I tend to work with the community. And when people see you give, you care about others, you encourage others, you think it's that difficult to capture attention? Are you serious? You gotta be kidding me. Like, I have people I could meet anywhere that will be like, you see this lady? And I'm talking about ex-gang members. I'm not talking about, people that were upstanding all their life. No, I'm talking about those that been on drug addiction. I'm talking about those that spent time in jail. I'm talking about people from all walks of life. You better respect her. When I gave up on myself, she made me believe again. This was not me being thirsty and looking for attention. Oh, can you like me? Can you see me? No, this was just me being me. I care. But I can only be there for people that are there for me. And when I was saying be there, I said be theirs. And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, there's a reason why I said be theirs, because I am a friend. One of my jobs was working at a call center. And I was trained that when people call, you can't judge them. You have to accept whatever they say, wherever they are in life. You see, you might be the last chance they have to not commit suicide. Because of my nature, because of how I was trained, because of who my co-workers were, because of who I was surrounded by, because of my associations, I have been programmed to be very non-judgmental. Those who know me know my co-workers were, not all of them, but some of my co-workers were homosexuals. Some were lesbians, some were gays. Okay? And whatever else that I'm not aware of, because not everyone was open about it. But the point is, I wasn't walking around talking about them, belittling them, and so forth. You were just another soul to me. We're both here to help people, to save their life so that they don't die, to tell them there's a reason why they might want to try one more day. Tomorrow they may wake up and they may see things differently. So where in that do I have time to be knocking them down when I need them to be up enough to help somebody else? Again, this is why God is disciplining a lot of people the way that He is, because do not touch my anointed. No, that's not my lifestyle. But their lifestyle is their lifestyle, and guess what? None of my business. That part. I know how to stay in my lane. Their lifestyle is none of my business. Because a lot of you that go around and because I know one person in particular that I am divorced from, used to go around, and whenever he saw somebody that gave those types of vibes, he would be rude to them. And I would always tell him, you better chill with that, because one of these days someone's going to knock you out, and don't expect for me to fight with you, because I know how to mind my business. See, I know how to stay out of trouble. Okay, but if you there looking for trouble, please understand, I'm backing off. Because I don't need no parts of this. I have something to lose. My reputation. Mind you, I did not know he was trying to mess up my reputation that I worked so hard for all of my life. Now, earlier today, I heard somebody say that Judas loved Jesus. And I was like, what? And she said, yeah, Judas loved Jesus. It's just that he could be bought. But that doesn't mean he didn't love Jesus, because when he realized what he did, he went and he tried to give the money back. And when they wouldn't take the money back, he killed himself. If he didn't love Jesus, he wouldn't feel that remorse. That was her way of seeing the bigger picture. And I can give her some credit for seeing it in a different perspective. Honestly, it opened my eyes too, you know. But as for me, when I love somebody, there's some things I'll never do. Because we all learn lessons in different stages of our life. And it just so happens a lot of my lessons were learned since childhood. I remember we got a punishment in class to write, I will not talk in class 1,000 times. Because the teacher was upset because she said the class kept on talking. I was not the one that was talking all this while. However, when she said it, that we had to write the 1,000 times I will not talk in class, I was asking someone for a pencil or something to do my work. Something very innocent. And she just caught me asking the person for my pencil. And she said, Grace, you're still talking? Okay, that's it. Everybody is going to write 1,000 times. 1,000 times. I will not talk in class. And of course, everyone was aggravated. And guess where all their anger went towards? Guess who their anger went towards? It was me, right? So after school, they're talking about, let's jump Grace. Let's jump Grace. And I have a friend that I'm glad I reconnected with thanks to social media, because we lost touch after I left up north. We lost touch because we went to different schools and I was in a total different state. So we reconnected when I went to college. And then I looked for her on social media a couple years ago, ran into her again. So she will always be a lifetime friend, right? Because when everyone said that they were going to jump me, she stood up in front of me. And she said, we were all talking in class. All this girl did was ask for a pencil to do her work. Some of you guys were talking about recess or what you did or what you're going to do or blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to jump her, you're going to have to get through me. When she said that, if I remember correctly, 2 other girls with trembling voices was like, yeah, if you're gonna beat her up, you're gonna have to get through me too, and through me too. And when I said I was gonna get jumped, I mean by the class. I'm not talking about the girls. I'm talking about the boys too. And I was in, I want to say, yeah, I was in the 5th grade. And once these people stood up with me and said, you're going to have to get through me too. So people started backing off because they like, okay, I'm going to have to beat her up and her up and her up, you know. So I will never forget her for that. It's not that the other girls were not helpful as well. It's the fact that she stood up for me first. And she said, you have to get through me to get to her. See, again, a lot of things stem from your childhood, right? I've shared many times before. One of the most powerful memories I have with my father was security. Like, I knew I was safe with him. I knew, like, everybody has strengths and everybody has challenges. No one is perfect, right? But I knew if someone did something to me, and he found out, oh, you gonna get dealt with. And that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't even tell him sometimes, because I don't want him to get in any type of trouble now after he deals with you, because he won't think first. So here I am as a child trying to protect him. And this is why you need to show your children your balance side, because if not, they will be going through something and they won't tell you because they don't want you to go to jail, because they know you're going to go crazy. And so even though I inherited a lot from this man, I have more practice in communication because of the careers I've had and the classes I took in college. Like, I don't believe he's ever taken public speaking, because he was taking classes in engineering. So I don't see that much of a similar course load when it comes to what I learned and what he learned. So when I sense something is wrong with my child and he's not telling me, I will tell him, you could tell me, I promise I won't go crazy. Because I know that's what he's afraid of. Because what? Who did that to you? And yeah, so I promise, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you first. We're going to talk about it. then I'm going to act on it. But you could tell me, because I want him to be free to tell me, this is what's going on and this is what's going on. And I respect his wishes. Like, listen, I want you to do it this way. I don't want you to talk to the child. I want you to go talk to the principal. I want you to do this, whatever. And it's done. Unfortunately, thank you, God. Fortunately, my life partner balances me. So even if I want to get to a place of getting excited, I'll be reminded, not criticized, not judged, not looked down on, but I'll be reminded on all of the options we have to take care of the situation, because you're not alone. We're going to take care of this together. Right? And this is why it's very important to be with your divine soul partner, because you balance each other off. Not to say that I don't play a role in balancing him as well, but we both balance each other off to stay out of trouble. To stay out of trouble, you feel me? So the point in all of this is I learned what it meant to be a friend, to be there for them, to stand up for them, to be loyal to them. She could have just walked away, right? That's what happened to me in middle school when I was going to get jumped because I don't know, this gang that I went to middle school with was very troublesome and was trying to tell me who I could be friends with and who I can't be friends with and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't sign up for no gang. So, like, who are you to tell me who I could talk to and who I can't talk to? And the fact that one of my friends were in danger and I overheard them talking about her behind her back, and I went and I told her, You know, these people laughing in your face, but behind your back, they're saying this and that. Watch your back, right? Because that's me. If I know something's going on, I'm going to tell you. But sometimes that could backfire. Because when I told her that, she went and she told them I said that. And because they all rode my bus, and the bus driver wasn't there yet, they had access to me to beat me up or something. I mentioned this to my dad, and I said I didn't want to go to school because it's the last day of school. I don't want to go because they said they're going to jump me. He's like, no, you're going to school. And I kind of was like confused. I'm like, does this man love me? I just told him that they are going to beat me up, and he's telling me I'm going to school, and I'm in school here, and everyone's like, it was nice knowing you. Like all day long. Like I couldn't even do anything to get it off my mind because everyone's telling me it was nice knowing you, blah, 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 blah. So here I am. It's time to go home. And I see knives. I see boys I never saw before. They came from the high school because we were just in middle school. But like the brothers of those girls and whatever, and guns and blah, blah, blah. And I'm walking in their direction. Why? Because that's my direction to go home. Nowhere to go. And I was new to the school. I just moved down here from New York. So I really didn't know all these things about guidance counselors. And I went to a very small school when I was in New York because I was in a private school. So it was a lot of culture shock for me when I went to public school down here. And I heard someone say, Grace, but like from a distance. When I heard it, I looked in that direction and I saw it was my dad. And before I saw anything else, I saw everybody running from one direction to another direction. I'm like, what's going on? Like, because I didn't see what he had with him. It's when I crossed the street and I saw his hand was in the glove compartment. I was like, yo, like I know what they saw that what made them run away. And it was the first time and the last time I said, bye you. I'm not going to say what I said, but it's the first and last time I got away with it, saying that in front of my dad. But he protected me. The first time he told me he was going to protect me, I want to say I was 6. Sorry, I'm a little emotional about it. And he just came back from a trip. And he said, how are you doing? I was like, I'm fine and everything. And, you know, how have people been treating you? We talked and he put me on his lap and he said, I will always protect you. He didn't only say it, he acted on it. When I was in trouble, he was there for me. And I know we don't meet people by coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Because I remember when I married, I remember telling my mom, I don't know what it is about him that reminds me of my dad. I don't know what it is. When I think about it today, I feel it's like he had a very loud mouth, right? Which I usually don't like. And this is why I know spell work was in it. But he had a very loud mouth, right? So if you hear him in interaction, you would think like that's not somebody you want to mess with. And I guess because of his behavior, he was able to put people in check. But when it came to me, I wasn't the one that, I'm trying to say this without laughing, but I wasn't the one that your loud mouth is going to make me tremble. Like, I'm sure he can attest to this. His loud mouth could not make me tremble. No one's loud mouth can make me tremble. Right? We all have our strengths. We all have our challenges. But because I've experienced in a lot in my life, like I get immune to certain things. Because when I did started dating people, it's just like there's somebody else who's very much being criticized right now, who is a pastor, a bishop rather. But one of his sermons was in relation to, like, when women grow up, they look for their fathers. You're not aware of it, but that's what you're doing. So because my father was not somebody that was stable all the time, he loved to travel, very much of a socialite. His friends thought he was great. And sometimes got to see a lot more parts of him than his family got to see. You know? And those were the similarities with the person that is my ex right now, where his family did not get to see. And when I say his family, whether he knew me as family or not, that's what your wife is at the time. You understand? Even though I was never acknowledged as family, but that was his fault, not mine, and not the truth. His friends got to see another light of him, and I got to see another light of him. And the friends got to see more of the positives, and I got the leftovers. Some people are like that. And I always resented that. So it's like sometimes you find yourself in connections, you don't even know why, but you will know why eventually. And do I regret learning those lessons? No, because they'll never happen again. Because I'm like, why in the world would any woman want to be in a relationship with someone that cannot assist them in any way? Let me tell you something. Due to the line of work I've done in my life, I am very much aware of community resources. I'm the person that you would come to if you're in a homeless shelter and you need clothes or you need furniture for somewhere you're going to move in, and I'm the one that's going to give you the waiver to go get it for free. As long as I drug test you and, you know, you straight, you clear. I don't see anything in your system. That's how I would reward you. in one of my jobs. So, again, I know people from different walks of life. So, I'm a helpful person, and I know that people have their ups and downs. And I'm here for both, because I have my ups and downs. But you have to be exchanging energy from me. You can't just be taking from me. So regardless of the strategies that they thought they were going to work against me, it would have never worked, because I know what a burden is. I know what a liability is. I also know I have a child to raise, right? I know my priorities. I know whether you stay or you go, my child is still here. I know whether you stay or you go, I'm still going to have a man. So why am I going to put my family in danger or throw them down a downward spiral just because of what you think you look like, what you think you sound like, what you think your friends are, what you think you are as far as your status, what you think. Again, what you think. Because it's what I know. And because I know about all these resources, I could tell you firsthand, when you are married and then you go out and connect with one of these men that don't have stability, and you go ask for assistance, I think it's one of them is called, well, I don't have to give the names, but there are different community assistance they could give you for child care, to have your kids in certain programs like preschool and everything, or whatever, right? And some churches help you too. But soon as they hear you're married, guess what? We don't help married women. So why in the world would you want to tie up with somebody who can't help you? Because you cut all your resources off, right? Nobody wants to help you because they're like, what's the man for? Now, mind you, it's even more complicated when they don't have papers. So again, I got nothing out of it. Nothing. I just gave. I just gave. But God saw the ugliness and was like, nah, you're going to get compensated. He saw the plans that were made even before I said I do. As a matter of fact, if there is any truth, this individual would say, the night he proposed to me is the night I broke up with him. Confirmation. Confirmation is the night I broke up with him. See, we were hanging out and he was like, how do you want your engagement? And we were looking at videos of, different ways the person proposed and blah, blah, blah. Stuff for social media to front like you the happiest couple, blah, 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 right? I said, I never thought about these things because our was proposed to before, and it didn't have to be on social media. It was between me and the person, and then eventually my family. So, okay, if you want to make it that big, that's on you, right? But I remember it was getting late, and he was like, oh, you got to go home because it's getting late. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home. But I'm just lounging around for a minute. But I didn't like his attitude. Like, he started getting grouchy with me. How you going to get grouchy with me? With Me. We're supposedly in a relationship. Right? If you want, it's not like it's the first time I've ever been in a situation where it's time to go home. But it's like, okay, I don't want you to get hurt or anything. So it's time for you to go home because it's dark, blah, blah, blah. When you get home, call me. And if I don't call the person first, they call me. Are you okay? Are you inside? Are you? It's like something, a caring into action. It's never like, I told you to go home or whatever foolishness he was saying. I don't know. And I was like, I'm not even going to say what I said. But it meant it was over. Whatever I said, I'm not going to say it on air. But just know it meant like, don't call me anymore. Like it's over. Like, basically, you could go where you want to go without me using that vocabulary. And when I got in my car ready to drive away, because like once I make up my mind, you blocked. You know, because I already made up my mind, so there's nothing to talk about. But he got to my window and he started knocking my window and was like, I got something to tell you. I said, I don't have anything to. He's like, please, I got something to tell you. And then I put the window down just a little bit. Just a little bit. And he said, could you put it down a little bit lower? I said, why? I'm going home. I already told you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then he took out a box. And it appeared to be an engagement ring. And I was so shocked because I just told this man, blink you. And then you come out with this ring. Mind you, I already had a ring on my finger because like when I left my last relationship, I was like, I'm not in no hurry to meet nobody because I'm tired of the lies. The problem with me, I don't like lies. So I bought myself an independent ring and I put it on that finger. So if you were to see me, you would, unless you got to know me, you wouldn't even know I was single because I had diamonds already. So unless I told you, you wouldn't know. So he had to remove that ring and then he put his ring on my finger and I took that ring and then I put it on my right hand instead since it was on my left hand, which is where you put your wedding ring. So all this to say, it was never a situation where I was chasing the man or like I was going to die if this man wasn't in. It was never that. And he knows it was never that. And that's why it's disgusting to hear the lies that I'm hearing. That what he said and that I wouldn't let him go. And no, you do right and you get to stay. You don't do right and you must go. And what hurt me, I'll be honest with you, what hurt me is the fact that after we got married, I was being nice. I was taking care of him, you know, because I'm like trying to get him to get on his feet. My intention was never to do that forever. Are you crazy? I mean, could we be real? So you thought the rest of my life I was going to struggle? Me? This is a declaration I made since I was a child. That I'm not going to let any man just, you know, walk over me and not contribute to the household. These are conversations I would have with my dad. You need to help my mom this way. Like I would tell my, and there were times you need to stay in the kids' place. You know, when I would go to him and have these conversations. But these are things you should know. You can't just be coming to me every time and tell me, oh, your mother didn't do this, your mother didn't do that. But what you doing? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Just because I'm fair doesn't mean I don't love you, but I have to be honest. Love don't got nothing to do with you taking care of your responsibilities. I was so honest with this man that one day he told me that, well, my father didn't do it for me. And when he said that, I realized how hurt he was. Because that's not something you need to tell your child. The reason why I'm not being responsible this way is because my father didn't do that for me. Because from my experiences, I said, I will never do that to my child. You can go either way. You could say, you're going to be responsible or you're going to be irresponsible. But in the end, that is your karma. Because you have a choice, regardless of what you experience. And so because he made his friends his life and whatever, and I'm Mr. Popular and I'm all over, blah, 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 he neglected certain areas at home, which led to a strenuous relationship for him to experience a strenuous relationship with family. Eventually being estranged from family. Experiencing the dark night of the soul and looking over his life, you know, if I did this. Okay, yes, you did say you was going to protect me. But you had no right to say such and such. Certain things people say, you cross the line. Let me tell you something. There's not one day that I don't think of my father. You know why? I don't need a picture of my father. I look in the mirror, I see my father. I'm around my brother, he sees my father. I'm around my mother, she sees. I am very much similar in resemblance. Like he couldn't deny me as for a child. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when you're like this, how you gonna hate? I would have to hate a part of me. So I choose to remember all the positives, right? And I let the challenges be the generational curses that I had to break. And he was alive. He allowed family to interject their opinions too much. And I mean extended family. Interject their opinions into his procreated family. And they sabotaged a lot. Due to bad advice, bad guidance, misunderstanding, lies, plots, strategic maneuvers, and some things I won't even mention. They were aware about children that we were not aware about. And I see certain parallels. And I'm like, wow. So being in the experiences, being that I had this experience, I could understand my dad from a different angle here. Because the reason why my ex did this is because of such and such. So even though I was a child when he did such and such, then as an adult, I could understand his behavior when I was a child. This is what happens when you go inward, when you do the work, right? When you listen to the voice of your soul, you say, oh, I can heal myself here. Yeah, I could heal myself here. There's not a day I don't tell my father I love him. And he's no longer with us. There's not a day that I don't see his picture. It's always with me. If it's not my face, it's his picture that I have all over the place. In fact, I see him in my dreams. Early this morning, I saw him in my dream. And a lot of things I know today regarding what was being done behind my back, my ancestors tell me in my dreams. Know about the money. I know about the house. I know about the business. I know about the car. I know about a lot. A lot of detail. Judgments too. I said judgments too. So when they say that after someone transitions that it's the end, that's not all the way true. Because you can remember the lessons they taught you, and they can still talk to you in your dreams. Now I want to tell you straight up, I don't participate in Ouija boards, and I don't believe in that. That's not a territory that's calling me. All right? And a lot of people that go into that direction, that's why they're experiencing living in homes that are haunted and all of that. There are certain limitations that we must take. Okay? I heard a confirmation. Certain boundaries. We need to respect certain boundaries and certain universal laws. When people are at peace, leave them at peace. Stop asking them to do things that are diabolical. I've seen some of my enemies. There's a message I just got there that's clarifying something. But I've seen some of my enemies connect with the dead in visions. I know one of my enemies I'll just say I've seen some of my enemies connect with the dead to harm me. right? There's a lot of things I see I don't even talk about. I think this is the cue for me to read just some of the cards. As I made the statement earlier, I was doubting that I would be able to read the entire spread because I had a lot to say. And that's exactly what happened. In fact, before I even get in the spread, I want to make a statement, because it was brought to my attention before I started the reading, which is, why are you asking for solutions when you don't want them? Why are you asking for solutions when you don't want them? A lot of you think that you're praying in truth, but you're just lying to yourself because of the vibration that you're in. And until you raise your vibration, the prayers won't go up, because you're asking for solutions. Guide me. Tell me what to do. How can I fix this? Okay. Certain things you're taught since kindergarten. If you take something that's not yours, you need to give it back. If you don't give it back, you suffer the consequences. Some things you learn as an adult. When you spend an account from an account that's not yours, you mess up your credit. So then you lose your credit. As above, so below. If you spend from accounts, whether it was monetary spending or gifts that you stole by blocking other people's gifts or manipulating their chakras, or the witchcraft you did with word magic, whatever it is, you must pay for what you took. You must pay for what you did. You also must pay for services rendered. If that person gave you room and board, transportation, food, care, you must pay. Counseling, and so forth, you must pay. And I don't have to collect the debt. I got spiritual lawyers on deck. And I already went to spiritual court. I also feel it's sad what's going to have to happen, what is going to trigger certain changes. It's not sad in the sense that it's going to happen, but it's sad in the sense that it could have been avoided. But I know that is what's going to trigger the movement forward. And I've accepted that already. Now the first word is wow. So word, card. So first message. The first message is coffin. coffin. Hold up. Okay. When I read cards, I also pay attention to the illustration. And you'd be surprised what you could see, not just with your naked eye, but with your glasses. And I see that this individual is taking some of the woman's hair as she's laying down. He's taking some of the woman's hair because he believes he can control her with her hair by doing magic, but he doesn't see or he's not understanding that she can cleanse herself even with her hair that he took from her. She can still cleanse herself but that is what triggered the coffin. Because this can be looked at that he was calling death to her. That's why he was taking her hair, so he can use it in rituals to kill her. But also the act of taking the hair is also what he was trying to sacrifice. Because he was trying to sacrifice her, that he will be sacrificed. Next card is Ancient Wisdom. How did I know who was betraying me? It was revealed to me in my dreams. I didn't have to go to no tarot reader or no fortune teller or anything. I just had the dreams. Anytime I'm in danger, I'm going to have the dream. It's always been that way. And I told him too. I told him that I have dreams and everything. He laughed in my face like it can't happen. Probably because he knew they were doing magic behind my back. So he was like, how are you having dreams? Oh, I still had the dreams. Okay? Following that is divination. Right? Career change. So not only did I have the gift of prophecy, it was strong enough to be of use in my career. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. Right? Your skills contribute to your career. Following that is persecution and inquisition. So due to that career change, I arrived at a place where I was persecuted. Following card, we are not right for each other. I can't talk to you right now. sometimes you have to lose certain connections because they get in the way with your callings, right? And I have more than one. But anyone that tries to interfere with any one of my callings will get removed from my life. Creativity, passion, free-spirited person. I'm creative with my work, I'm free-spirited, and I'm passionate about my work. And so, any opposition will find opposition. As above, so below. Creativity. But opposition. The sun. That we are on different teams. We are not allies. Masculine energy. Wealth. So sometimes after you do something, but I said did something first. Sometimes after you do something, you realize that wasn't the best approach. You realize there were options. Consider the possibilities that are open to you. As you consider the possibilities that are open to you, you move with wisdom and discernment. Monk or nun. So, in this case in particular, there's a distorted masculine energy. And I say distorted because if you're still not in alignment, you're distorted. If you're still not in obedience, you're distorted. If you still haven't complied with karma, you're distorted. Okay? You didn't imagine it. So that person was doing magic so you would not be in any physical relationship. You didn't imagine it. So basically, they thought they could play God in your life and say, well, if you can't be with me, you can't be with no one else. So you're going to have to be a nun, or you're going to have to be a monk. I am stuck in visions of us together. So because of their obsessions, they thought they could take your free will away from you and manipulate your destiny. Assertiveness, lifestyle change, fast talking person. So due to the visions that they are, and I say they, strategically, in transparency. Like, we don't have to kid ourselves here. It's not only one person that are having visions of you and them together. There are groups of people that are in that perverted mentality. But they are still in the energy of get back. They want to get their get back. They want to come around. What the young kids call it? Something about come around the block. I don't know. That's what these youngsters are saying. But basically, reignite what you once shared to play you and leave you again. When the fact is, you're not open for any type of games. In fact, you're very content. You're not even available. Ancestors are assisting you, giving you signs on how to discern those around you. Conflicts, arguments, bullies, violence, feeling bullied. So that's what they have to offer you. So you've received messages why it is not to your advantage to make a U-turn. There's something being brought to my attention. And I think it's because your angels are trying to get you to connect the dots and see how to connect the dots. I'm going to first start by saying, as above, so below. So the first time I met the ex that betrayed me, confirmation. I drove right past him. I didn't see him. I drove right past him. And then he called me on the phone and he's like, I saw your car. You drove right past me. And if you make a U-turn, I'm over here. And I made a U-turn and I saw him. And I was being enlightened that I need to drive past him. That, you know, like I said, as above, so below. See, the strategy, the plot was already made since then. So it would have behooved me to drive right past him. That's why it happened in the physical. But because I made a U-turn, And I allowed him into my car. Due to his spell work. That was the beginning of the end. And what was also brought to my attention is as he walked to my car from the sidewalk, the first thing I noticed about him was his jeans were dirty. That is also symbolic. He came with an unclean energy. And the only reason I am able to note all of this now is because of what I've been through. So now I don't see with just 2 eyes, I see with 3 eyes, even though they continue to do spell work. And they're getting closer and closer to losing all of their vision, because every time you do it, I know it. And you best believe it's returned. And you best believe my eyes have never been so strong. You're not hurting me when you're doing that. You're just hurting yourself. I'm not even going to tell you to stop it. I'm just going to tell you, wait for it. And you can't be blaming me about it, because I did not tell you to go do magic on me so I cannot see physically, so it could affect my sight spiritually. That's what they try to do. They try to harm you physically so it could affect you spiritually. The same reason why he was sent to steal from me physically, so it could affect me spiritually, so they could steal my inheritance. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why this individual is in a lot of trouble is because I assisted him also because I had as I shared before, my father died. Right? So I had an inheritance. And some of the money that he borrowed from me, he stole and borrowed. Some of the money that he borrowed from me came from my inheritance. Do you see the connection? He loaned from my inheritance. So he was able to loan from it spiritually. But due to his deceit in identity, oh, I'm here to protect you. I'm going to be there for you. I'm always going to. Due to his deceit, I have received my spiritual inheritance, and I will receive my physical inheritance. As above, so below. There's a lot that I'm sharing that I'm being told a lot of you were not aware of. When you borrow and you don't pay back, you stole. Let me repeat that for some of you who don't understand. Because some of you are just saying, no, borrow. I told you that there was a deadline. When you borrow, and then the person you lent it from said, I need the money back, and you laugh at them you what? You stole. Right? I'm not giving it to you back. When you attack physically and spiritually, you're in debt. I remember when I brought it to his attention that I believe that people in your circle are doing witchcraft on me. He was like, that's not true. That's not true. It's just your mentality. It's not true. It's just because you're Haitian, you're saying. It's always because you're Haitian. Always because you're Haitian. Meanwhile, you a whole warlock up in these streets. Right? And with my Haitian blood, I wasn't participating. I still don't participate in none of that activity. So stereotypes are just stereotypes. Because I was not raised like that and I'm not living like that. And I am very proud of all of that. My Haitian ancestry included. One thing that I will not tolerate is anybody trying to put me down for my race, for my nationality, for my bloodline. I don't tolerate that. And that's why you got put in your place every single time. So I don't know why you was fronting on these streets like you could do anything to me and I'm going to tolerate it, because since day one, it was never like that. Other things that came to me when I was meditating is that I remember going to a restaurant with him. And one thing that turned me off is he's eating, right? And I'm eating too. But if you're on a date, you communicate. You don't just eat and you don't say nothing. I looked at him like, because I was kind of disturbed. Like, what you doing? Like, this is where you impress me, for lack of a better word. You can't just treat me any kind of way and think I'm going to go on a second date with you. And he's like, oh, I don't eat. No, I don't speak when I eat. And I thought that that was weird, because nobody is suggesting that as you eat, you know, you should be talking with food in your mouth. But there are times you pause. So how was your day today? You know, you look nice. Or, you know, this is what happened to me today. Or whatever. That's how it goes. Like, it's just, how should I put this? Etiquette. I wasn't impressed. Where was the romance? Where was the, you know, the chivalry? Where was that? I wasn't impressed. And again, and that's how I know that the magic was part that he was using was part of it. It was a giveaway. So, the reason why he wants to engage in sexual activity, these distorted masculines, is because they know once you do, you die. And they want to receive through transference. Right? He wants to take from you to bring to his family. because they are imprisoned. The only reason why they're able to hide it is because they steal other people's blessings. That's why they're doing it. They're not trying to steal from people for no reason. There's a reason. The reason is they were already cursed. And so they need you to cover them so they can make it through life and avoid the karma that's already put on them. So those of you of a high vibration that they're blaming you, oh, it's because of you that my life fell apart, my life was okay. That's a lie. Let me repeat that. That's a lie. The only reason they connected to you is because they needed you. Because they were not so well off. You follow me? So what they're going through right now is what they are supposed to be going through. This is not on you. So you need to take that illusion of guilt and throw it in the trash where it belongs. Because God wants the truth out and He wants to set you free. Because you're already free. You need to know it. You need to say it. You need to claim it. What they're going through, they put it on themselves. Because they were experiencing imprisonment, like being stuck in life and can't move forward, and basically a slave to their masters, which is their addictions and their vices and everything. They wanted to put that on you. They wanted you to be a drug addict. They wanted you to commit crime to go to jail. They wanted you to get caught up for the crimes they committed. Oh yeah, that too. I have physical and spiritual proof. They wanted to commit you for mental illness, what is already in their, genetically in their DNA. Wake up to the truth. Stop letting these people play with you because they're lying. I love myself enough to walk away. That's what you need to do. And they're saying, I can't express myself. That's their excuse. And you're decisive in your energy. You're brutal with your honesty. You remain self-sufficient. You're the Queen of Swords. No nonsense. Moon. Secrets upon secrets upon secrets. Any one of you that is foolish enough to go sleep with any of these people, know that you're going to lay on your deathbed. Okay? They're doing all types of magic. Alright? Water, fire, earth, air, calling in spirits. You at your own demise if you make that U-turn. Learn from other people's mistakes. Perception. Some of you are going to look at them, oh, he looks healthy, she looks healthy. Because you're failing to understand, if someone is not healthy spiritually, they're not healthy physically. It's all connected. See what I just told you? Ancestors' wisdom. I'm gifted with that. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. That's my priority right now. I don't care about any of your temptations. It doesn't faze me. I'm very disciplined. And I must tell you, I've had assistance with this. Not only because of what I went through, but because of my spiritual support team. Trust me, I have spiritual coaches from the spiritual realm. I don't pay anybody in the physical realm to coach me and all that, because there's levels to this. Confirmation. So we all different. I'm not telling you not to pay somebody, because there's something called ranking. So you may benefit from someone's spiritual coaching, but not all of us need it, because some of us receive it from the spiritual realm. Now, they wanted you to be in a shelter. Okay, that's what they wanted for you, because they hated you. And what still is mind-boggling is one of the cards I received was inner child wound. You hurt me. And the only thing he could say that would make him feel that he was hurt is the fact that he had to move from one home to another home. There's nothing else. And why would you be hurt from moving one home to another home when you had the means to contribute to the household, but you chose not to? You were married, but you chose not to. You had it, but you chose not to, because you were assisting a harem with hidden careers. So you chose not to support who was pouring into you, who was praying for you, who, if you had any pain, would massage you, who would assist you in contributing to you and in investing in you. You decided to neglect that one and seek the attention of those that you had to pour into, because that was where your frame of mind was. And every action has a reaction. So you being upset that someone will not allow you to drain them so you can give your money to prostitutes or to, what's the other word? Gold diggers, or to criminals, scammers, con artists, whatever you want to call them. I'm not just stating these names because I'm throwing shade. I'm saying these names because they have been proven on the physical realm. Acts of prostitution, acts of infidelity, acts of not knowing who your baby daddy is, acts of drug addiction, this has been proven. Acts of theft, acts of stolen identity, acts of satanic energy. This has been proven. These are the people that are in your circle, or if you want to say were in your circle. The point is, y'all share the connection. And the point is, God don't want that for me. He told me to flee. And what God says is what I do immediately. I am happy that it's over. You best believe. That doesn't mean I'm going to hate you forever. It just means that I'm numb over this. Like, I felt everything I was supposed to feel because I learned the lesson, and the lesson is complete, that I've just released it to God now. But I'm not thinking about you every day. Oh, I hate this man. I need this to happen to him. I need that. When I go talk to God, I'm like, God, I know you're going to take care of it. Everything that happened to me, you asked me now, God. You asked me what I wanted. Everything that happened to me, I'm expecting for them to receive. But I'm not sitting there thinking about ways to harm you, thinking about ways to harm your family, your friends, thinking about ways to break you down. That's not my mentality. I got too much joy in my soul, honey. I haven't slipped and said honey. And you know I don't call you honey. That's my man's name. But there's nothing to forgive. There's just, you have to do your part now. And stop fronting like you don't know how to do it. Stop fronting like you don't know what to do, what I need, what I want. Stop fronting. All right? Because we all know your intention was to come to my garden, right? As above, so below. To take what was not yours. That's why you was cut off. Because you came in the energy of being a thief. Okay? Loud and clear. So, I have a lot of responsibility, and I'm not concerned about how to plot on you. It's not about that. But it's about you getting what you need to get done on track, because time is running out. And like I said, I know what's going to trigger movement. I know you're going to try to blame it on me, but God already set me free in knowing it was your postponing energy. Peace to all of y'all. Love, growth, and hope.